Hello everyone, welcome back to another round of Arbitration Studios as we continue our journey across the whole damn thing of Mass Effect. I'm JP Arbiter.
And I'm Captain Jack.
And I was all ready to go to Ilium, but apparently President Bartlett wants to talk to us, so let's see what he has to say.
Good old President Bartlett.
I do find this whole communication system thing fascinating, and much like a lot of the sci-fi bullshit in Mass Effect, it's not really bullshit.
No!
I mean, the whole idea of we achieve faster than light by cheating, and not by making shit up to make it work, but by let's artificially reduce the mass of our object so we use less fuel.
And also the idea of quantum communication, which is not as far off as a lot of science fiction writers.
Well, we're able to entangle particles now. It's incredibly expensive and hard to do, but
right. But the idea and the science is there. Whereas a lot of people, and it's really only being held back by money. And money and the will to do it.
A little bit, too, of the amount of energy that it takes to do it is difficult as well.
But here we have our benefactor who recreated us.
You sure this information's good?
And information is my weapon. Made us better, faster, and stronger.
And says, hey, you know that collector ship on Horizon? Turns out you damaged it and it's just floating in space right now. Really, I smell a trap. I'm just trying to figure out who's springing it.
Yeah, I mean, like the first time I did this, I going through it, I honestly had kind of at this point been taken in by him a little bit. Not that I didn't think he wasn't going to, like, betray me, but, I legitimately thought he'd do it at the end of the game. And I legitimately thought it would be later. For those of you, we'll get to that in a minute. But leveling up our characters here, leveling up gets way easier as you go along in the games, and it gets way. They move away from a lot of the different tropes of role-playing games.
Well,
a little bit.
There were too many damn skills and too many levels of skills in the first Mass Effect game, if you ask me.
Well, you can get
I almost think that 2 was, in terms of its skill progression, was an overcorrection in the wrong direction.
I can agree.
But, yeah, I mean, so 3 was like, I don't want to say perfect, but probably about as good as you could get it under most circumstances. So, anyway, why don't they just look out a window?
Nobody uses Windows, which is not entirely unrealistic, to be honest.
I mean, submarines don't use windows, but submarines are under gajillions of tons of water and the pressure that goes with it, so not having windows makes sense.
So we have this great kind of size comparison. As your ship that is bigger than your original ship flies up next to it and is still infinitely dwarfed by this asteroid-sized ship that has clearly been built from
An asteroid.
Hollowed out asteroid. Which of course you hop on it, and of course you bring in your boys with you.
Yep, got Tali and I got Grunt. Tali because, if anyone's going to be able to hack unfamiliar tech, it's got to be her. Grunt because I think Grunt will be able to kill everything in here by himself.
And honestly, if you have the option of having a Krogan on your side, you take the option
Krogan.
of having a Krogan. I mean, I don't see that's not the most that's not the hardest thing to figure out. And honestly, I'm kind of a fan of Grunt as he grows.
Oh crap! Did I not edit? Okay, I did edit this. So, continuing along, it is odd how at some points the floor here is natural and then it's sculpted and then it's artificial. Like, the hexagonal rock pieces are really disturbing, and then we get to the polished metal stuff and I'm like,
I don't
What
happens
look.
yet?
I honestly think that had they wanted to, they could have done their own
Lots of
like
dead meat.
horror survival game in this
If
universe,
they were
in this, you know, in this thing,
experiment.
and it been fantastic.
I mean, you know, you say as we're standing right in front of a pile of David Cronenberg.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, that's kind of why I said it. Really, is the pile of Cronenberg. I don't remember. Is that where we pick up the extra weapon, or is
No,
it
it's later. It's a little later on.
Okay.
It is on this ship, and I do select the assault rifle for its utility.
Which is not unwise, honestly. I usually will take the sniper rifle myself, but that's because I'm a terrible shot, and I need all the help I can get. People think that you know it's harder to hit things with the sniper rifle, but in this game, it's
Not in video games.
not in video games.
In video games, you don't have to do things like adjust for windage and whatnot.
No, none of that stuff. So here we are. Also, we also I feel like there's a little bit of Independence Day going on here, where there certainly is an explanation for why we can kind of interface with their computer system, but there's no like real like we don't really. It looks like if you're just playing through, it's like, oh, we can magically interface with this
I blame Edie.
computer system. Well, I mean, that's fair.
They're just working for the Reapers
Edie
now.
taps in through your Omni tool.
That's fair.
The other thing too is that, as is revealed here, that the collectors are Protheans that were huskified by the Reapers.
Picked up on this.
That you know, everything is based on Reaper technology.
This is and you're not wrong in that. That is absolutely correct. I guess I was talking about like the first time I played through, when I didn't at that time know the story. Like, so I'm looking at this and I'm talking about this and speaking about the first time I experienced this stuff. And the first time I did this, I was like, okay, it's this kind of game.
They turned them
I
into
didn't realize
monsters
that.
and enslaved
So-
Because there were no Cronenberg things up until
No
this.
species should have to suffer through that.
So,
Find what we need before the collectors
Reapers
come to
made the Protheans into the collectors for reasons. What do we think about this plot twist?
Well, when I found out about it at the time, I was like, oh, crap. And because when I found out about it, that's when it all kind of clicked for me. I'm not that bright, folks. I'm sure most of you who have played this figured it out way before I did. That literally everything was connected. And of course it's a video, and of course it's going to be because it's a story. They're writing it. Things can be that way, but they're, you know, for me it took me a minute, and I liked that. I liked that the video game was able to get me. And when I say get me, I mean that it was able to surprise me, that it was able to set something up, and then me go, what, and kind of wish I could go back and watch it again, which I have now, 20 times. But at that time, it was pretty, to me, it was pretty shocking, and it was pretty like, I had thought
This might
a
be useful.
little bit that it was going to turn out that they weren't with the Reapers, that it was something else entirely. We were going to assume it was the Reapers, we were going to act like it was the Reapers, but it was something else entirely. Whether it be they were trying to figure out a way to beat the Reapers by harvesting us, whatever it was. And of course, that turned out not to be true. And you quickly learn that that's not true, but still, this gets more and more insectile the
Yep.
longer you're in here, which
Very beehive.
which gets more and more disturbing,
Stop them.
especially when you meet Javik in the next game.
I'm still trying to figure out what the hell Javik evolved from.
Yeah,
Because
that's a really good point.
Javik did not evolve from a bug.
No, you're not lying.
Should be dead collectors.
So, here he has that moment where we interface with the computer, and things get
Edie, I'm setting up a
wonky.
bridge between
There is a
you and
little
the
technical
collection.
thing that I do
See if you can
like
get anything
on
useful
this
from the
too,
databanks.
and it's this part right here where the collectors start downloading stuff. But if you pay attention to what goes on when things are being data mined, right about
That can't be good.
that can't be good. No shit. Here, physical printouts, almost like they're on glass, of stuff from the normal use computer. That fascinates me for some reason. I don't know what to say. What else to say about that? I just
No, it's
they know the value of hard copy.
yeah, and it's an interesting thing that speaks to BioWare's attention to detail, which you can not like the game all you want, but their attention to detail is up there. And most modern game companies, I think, do a much better job at attention to detail than back in my day. Back in my day, kids. Transformers was animated and we liked it. But you know,
Technically, it still is.
we played shooter games with the light gun. But this was for me anyways, this was a pretty interesting fight. It had it was not a difficult one necessarily, but just some interesting,
It's that oh shit, gotta move.
yeah, you're constantly trying to find the better angle to kind of attack from, and you're constantly
Especially
looking-
because Grunt doesn't move his fat ass.
yeah, exactly. And then you got to deal with one of the at this point, especially the first time playing through, I just hated these freaking things. I
Point.
just really hated those, and so dealing with them was just.
I think the other reason why I selected them is I remembered that this was a really close quarters fight, and that Tally and Rex both packing shotguns would be handy.
Yeah. I mean, shotguns are have their place, and if you know how to utilize them, they're great. I'm not overall a fan. I don't use them that often, but I think that they definitely have their place. And this fight is not necessarily challenging so much as it is. They don't actually have any other fights in this game that are similar until the end.
Yeah.
But at this point, they do. And again, one of my favorite things to do is when he's
Shoot him in the face
shoot them
before he was.
just unloading on him with everything. Which, by the way, the assault rifle really good for. Really good for.
No, the only downside to this is that I have to rely on the power of the semi-automatic instead of hosing him down with that light machine gun you can get if you're a soldier type.
Right?
Don't get me wrong. It's big, heavy, clunky, and not accurate past like 20 feet, but I'm unloading 80 shots into someone in 10 seconds.
Hey, look, lots of bullet. There is a quality to quantity. And turning the room into... And it's hard to dodge if you've turned the room into bullets.
The collector's rich source. It is
So
unusual.
now you get the... oh my gosh, what has happened? It was a trap! Oh no!
And this is exactly the point where I went to the Elusive Man and said, I'm not buying anything you're selling from this point on.
Yeah, no,
I-
it's the same. Absolutely the same. Completely the same. From this point on, I think I was like, is there any way I can jump ship now.
We should have known.
You know, can I
The
go
only,
back to the Alliance
the
now?
only, the only reason you don't is because they're funding the mission and it's a mission you believe in. But these people,
Well,
Cerberus is,
This is what happens when you
Sending coordinates for
try to
shuttle
fund them
extraction.
to do things that should be government funded. You get what you get.
you get what you pay for.
Exactly. So now we have the escape, which again is one of those most. It's not particularly difficult.
And I'm running into that damn glitch. Ah, there we go.
It's not particularly difficult, but it is particularly enjoyable. At least the first time I played through it, and it still is.
Well, what it,
kind of.
it has what it has is, particularly on higher difficulties, it's the right amount of high tension.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
you believe on most difficulties, regardless of your skill, that you got this, but you also have the distinct feeling that you're on the clock.
Exactly.
Um,
Yep. Exactly.
Because if you carry on for too long, it doesn't matter how skilled you are. Numbers do matter,
It's
and you're on their turf. So
Yep. And here they are with their really disconcerting bug wings landing.
that's the part, yeah, that always struck me as icky with the collectors, was when they literally float in on bug wings. And it's just like, that has to have come from the Reapers. There's
Yeah.
no way on earth that the
No, because they don't show that. The Protheans don't show having that. Oh!
Black Hole Gun!
Black hole gun,
Gun, won't you come?
and shoot the foes away.
That felt so nice, I did it twice.
Ah.
Actually, this is more like, oh shit, more guys. Didn't you learn from your friends?
How many times are we gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Gravity's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Gravity is and what's funny to me is that they've mastered Mass Effect, which means they've kind of mastered gravity, which means why are there not more gravity-based weapons? I like gravity-based weapons. It's a thing for me. I enjoy the concept.
The practical reason, if you ask me, because we have the Reaper Blackstar in 3. And I completely fuck up using it
Yeah.
twice that I've recorded so far in 3. But it's in order to make it compact enough for a single soldier, it's a one and done weapon.
Yeah.
So, it's not viable for small arm battlefields.
Oh, I think this is the second last time we see one.
I think we get one more.
Do you think we get? Maybe we get one more. I do. They're just. I mean, I hate to say it that way. But
They were not a good enemy. They were not a well designed enemy.
They were just that whole.
Which is a shame, because visually it's incredible.
Yeah, it's a great visual enemy, but it's just not. It's not so much challenging as annoying.
Well, you know what would have made it more terrifying, honestly?
If the heads were all singing.
Okay, yes, but I meant on a gameplay level,
Oh.
not an existential level.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
If that thing didn't float around gently
Yes.
and fired
Yeah.
laser beams, it needed to crawl on those legs, and it needed to be terrifyingly fast.
Yes.
And,
Agreed.
and essentially be a living battering ram.
Yes, agreed. I think the beholder like floating was not.
And then also the heads were bombs
Yeah.
that it chucked out.
Yeah. And that they sing.
Uh-huh.
But they sang.
I was hoping more for like Queen, just
They sang Krogan opera. God, because you have not heard opera until you've heard it in the original Krogan.
Thank you, Kalis.
So, and again, they have great. They have some great set pieces, fight set pieces in this, and then they have some terrifying and then you have some moments that you wish you could jump. You know.
Anything involving Jacob.
Yeah. And by jump, I mean jump away and leave him behind.
Tell you what, Jacob, you have a conversation with your father. We'll be back at the shuttle
Yeah.
in the Bay of the Normandy
Yeah.
in another system.
Yeah.
While you have this conversation.
Exactly. Sometimes I wish you could bring Jacob along and he could hold off the enemy while the rest of us get away.
Far away.
Far away. Very far away. And so, but even, and obviously we joke about the characters we don't like. Cartho Nassi. We joke about the characters we don't like, but even the characters we don't like are they're fleshed out. It's not like they're just stick figures. It's not like they're just...
Well, even our dislike of Caden Olenko has nothing to do with him as a character.
No!
It has nothing to do with the voice actor. It has to do with the voice actor's lack of range.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with the actual character of Kate. And everything to do with the fact that I hate Cartho Nassi.
Actually, Caden Olenko is a very, very well done and likable character. I just can't stand his fucking voice.
I like all of the voice actors' characters except for Cartho Nassi.
Which is funny because they all sound like Cartho Nassi.
They do, which is why I do horrible things to all of them. You ever play through Dragon Age, which would be a very difficult game to do, you'll see why. You'll see a lot
I
of
could
things
I could never get into Dragon Age.
It's definitely not. It's not like this.
I found the fighting in Dragon Age, especially for the magic users, to be clunky.
Yep. And what's funny is I can I've heard that complaint. I've heard that critique. I would say, and absolutely that critique is 100% correct. I agree with that critique 100%. I agree that for all of the classes, combat is a little bit clunky.
Yeah, I managed in I have played through Inquisition, and that's the good thing about the Dragon Age series versus the Mass Effect series is that the protagonist for each of the Dragon Age games is a different person.
Yep.
But the whole fighter archetype and rogue archetypes, I could manage them.
Yeah.
It was just could not do it with the magic user, and the magic user in the first game, from what I understand, has the most compelling story.
Yeah. No, it is none of your complaints are wrong. None of your critiques, in my opinion, none of your critiques are wrong. I think all of your critiques on that are right. It doesn't bother me as much because, I do turn-based and like turn-based. And here we have, they're going to try to shoot your new ship out from under you with their giant space.
Why did he fly in front of the ship instead of turning his ass completely around?
Well, because...
Then we wouldn't get this scene.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I feel like they forget that space has no up, down, left, or right.
It kind of does, kind of doesn't. There is such a thing. There is such a thing as the galactic plane that you can orient yourself towards. But anyway, shall we go chew out the boss?
Yeah, and then we can use the joke. Because I believe that this is the appropriate time to use the joke.
Shepard, looks like Edie extracted some interesting data before the collector ship came back online.
Shut the fuck up, Elon Husk.
No, I was gonna say, like, if I had done it, I would have said, "Look here, Elon Husk." But either way, he's now giving me really icky vibes.
I mean, with his shirt unbuttoned back
Yeah.
low, it's just, you know, where's the sultry, sexy saxophone that's now very inappropriate.
And then the lighting in his office is definitely questionable.
I
Definitely.
feel so
Yeah.
unsure.
I feel like he's just a step away from turning on a Barry White record and locking the doors.
You could have told me to plan. You say I'm
Creepy
important,
bastard.
but you
And
sure
I
told me
hate to
to
say that about President
I need
Bartlett.
the to believe they had the upper hand. Telling you could
It
pick them
just-
off in any number of ways.
Nothing about this makes sense. The whole, they had to be convinced. Bitch, they don't understand organic culture. That's why they're collecting us. Alright? They wouldn't know what's going on, and in a situation like this, you would assume the worst.
You of all people should know.
I always assume the worst, just, out of principle.
But the collectors.
Really.
This is no time for
You know,
petty
hi,
quarrels.
we're gonna try and drag him in here into our trap. We should probably assume that they know it's going to be a trap.
The weakers
That's
and
how the
choose
collectors
their
should have
gains to
behaved.
identify friend foes
So
to
this whole,
the
we
relays
needed
record.
them to think it
All
was
we need
genuine,
is
that
our handles on
malarkey.
the IFFs.
Just,
Malarkey.
Yeah.
Pure and simple malarkey.
As I said,
Um,
Edie
And
just
I'm here to stop the malarkey.
wouldn't have time to
but
distract them, but we have
anyways,
options.
I seriously hope
An alliance
Dark
science
Brandon
team
comes out and
recently
punches
determined
that
the Great
one
Rift on the
special
planet
counsel in
Clending
the
is
throat.
actually an impact
Look,
crater from a
I
massive
think
accelerator.
that we could do worse than elect
A very old massive
Jed Bartlett
accelerator.
for real.
Instead of trying to find
And I don't
high
mean
performance
elect Martin Sheen. I mean elect Martin Sheen playing Jed Bartlett.
37-year-old derelict reaper.
Oh, that whole scene where the dairy farmer's like, you voted against this dairy farmers compact, and it made, and I lost out a lot of money. And it's like, yeah, I hosed you on that one.
Yeah, I like the honesty. And that's why I
I mean,
don't.
the reason why he hosed it was the higher calling thing, but, the fact that he said that he didn't try to hide it in political doublespeak.
And that's like why originally I liked the Elusive Man, because I felt like he was being honest with me. And then all of a
It's
sudden
no
I
less
was
a
like,
risk.
oh wait a
We lost
minute.
contact with Dr. Chandana's team shortly
You
after
transposed characters. That's
I
what it was.
did. I absolutely. I'm not even gonna lie. I did. I thought there was going to be a little bit of
You-
Bartlett in this guy.
You expected Dwayne Johnson outside of the ring being affable and lovable and huggable and all of that jazz. What you got was Maxwell Jacob Friedman
Yeah.
in and out of the ring.
Yeah, no. I and I have learned my lesson. But I did think, because he did seem kind of affable at first, and he didn't seem sinister
So
until
the Elusive
I think
Man didn't
like
sell
really
something.
right about there, like that pan out with his
Lied to
eyes
us,
like that.
used
And I was
us,
like,
needed access to the collector
that is definitely
database.
sinister.
Necessary risk.
So we could at this point completely fuck up the game, and we could just go to the end game right now if we wanted to. However, I'm pissed off at the Elusive Man, and I'm going to make sure that I live to see the end of it, so I can punch him in the goddamn throat and then make him shoot himself.
Yes, and thus we will be
Taking care of a multitude of daddy issues.
care of business, and
Better run the diagnostics.
never
Looks like
using
our
Jacob
AI's
again.
got a bug.
Well, no, we've got one time we gotta use
Calculations are
Jacob.
correct. The collective homeworld
Well, right.
is
Yeah, yeah,
located
that's
within
what
the
I'm
galactic core.
Can't be.
Plus, we've got
Course,
two
it's
more
black holes
characters
and
we've got to
exploding
recruit.
suns.
Oh yes, we
There
do.
are no
We do.
habitable
We
planets.
have two more characters
Could
to
be an
recruit.
artificial construction.
Two
Space
very
station
good
protected
characters,
by
which
powerful mass effect
which
fields and radiation
I'm always so
shields.
sad.
Even the collectors don't have that kind of
Kind of
technology.
The collectors are just
a little bit
servants
to the
of our
wayside.
real enemy.
Even though they're
Seen
like
what their
really good
masters are
characters, there's
capable
so
of.
many really
They
good
built the mass
characters that I
relays
want
and the
to
Citadel.
use in this game
Who's to
that I
say they
don't
can't
get a
build a
chance
space
to
station
use them as
surrounded by
much.
black holes?
But
No
it still
wonder
hits me.
nobody's ever returned from a trip to the Omega
But
4
it
mass
hits me
relay.
that these
The
are
logical
really
conclusion is that a
good
small safe zone
characters,
exists on the far side of the relay,
overall.
a region where ships
They
can
are,
survive. Standard relay
fully
transit
fleshed out.
protocols would not allow
Speaking of
safe
fully fleshed
transport.
out,
drifted 7,000 kilometers is common.
I mean, look, I know you're eyeballing Morden. He's
And-
not interested.
And as Morden
advanced
contemplates the
encrypted protocols.
physical improbabilities of that shape,
Just because we can follow the collectors through the relay doesn't mean we can take them out. I don't want to go after them
Booty
until I
must
know
have a
we're ready.
gravitational field
Sooner or
of
later
at
we need
least
that
0.15 Gs.
I say, why wait?
It's a
That would
derelict
explain my
reaper.
hand being
What if the
inexplicably
collectors are
drawn
waiting
to
for
it.
us?
Problematic.
Build up our team before we take that kind of risk.
had to be me. Someone
Who
else
else
would
would
get
get
it wrong.
The more on our side, the better our chances of success. We need to keep building up the team.
So,
It's your call, Commander.
yeah, I mean,
Whatever you decide, we're with
this I felt like this was one of the funner.
So it was a great mid game
Yeah.
setup, and now we are basically free to do whatever the hell we want.
Exactly.
So, and I say we do that by going to Space New York. How about you?
I love Space New York.
Start spreading the news. I want to be there today. Oh, Kelly, I forgot.
I do love me a little Kelly.
So,
Sounds like more than just professional concern.
Which is weird because I've never actually romanced her in any of my playthroughs.
well, we're going to be, quote, monogamous, close quote, to Liara all the way, but we don't know where Liara is right now.
Indeed.
And Kelly strikes me as a very suitable side piece, and I am portraying Commander Shepard as hard lesbian.
I hate
Not go both ways. She's not Gold Star, but frankly, you know, poor Timothy just on the Ulysses S. Grant just it ruined
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I got you.
How do you stay up that late?
Timothy
with
was my
college
wife's
days?
high school boyfriend's
I
name.
had a wonderful evening.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Anyway, it was a wonderful date, and now it's on to business in old New York. We'll be seeing you kids.
Deuces.